Tyrod Taylor was good. Jalen Hyatt was good. Everything was good. They actually had some life on offense. It's the first game that they have won with a backup quarterback with Daniel Jones on the roster. So when Daniel Jones gets hurt and his backup comes in, normally the Giants lose. But yesterday they won, and Tyrod looked really good at halftime. And I was thinking yesterday at halftime, we got ourselves a quarterback controversy.
Gio, this morning you seemed like you were going to call him out, but you kind of backed off about, boom, I don't think you like Jones at all. Yesterday in the NFL Today at halftime, right away you were like, oh, there's going to be a quarterback controversy. 2 games in a row, Taylor played great. And I'm like, great. He didn't do nothing against Buffalo. If anything, he cost them the game. And he's got Saquon 2 games in a row. The offensive line is playing a little bit better. I mean, come on. I mean, Gio, you gotta call Boomer out on this, no?
Well, I don't think Boomer hates Daniel Jones. I mean, I think that if
my daughter came home to me and said, hey, I'm going to marry Daniel Jones, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
I think he's a wonderful young man who has, exceeded probably expectations from when he was a kid to make it to the NFL and to play quarterback.
Yeah. And he got paid big bucks.
And when I wouldn't have done.
And he went into that last season, and you got to give him credit for it, with a guillotine over his head, and he did enough for an NFL team to pay him mega $80 million guaranteed for 2 seasons, and if he played well, he'd get even more than that.
I would just say that Tyrod Taylor, the last 2 games, looks like he's reasonably stable, and at halftime, Tyrod Taylor was in the midst of having a really good game.
He was, and then they did nothing in the second half.
I guess so. They didn't come back to us at the end of the game and say, "Hey, what'd you think now?"
Right.
I was talking about at halftime. I said he's playing a great game. He threw a nice touchdown pass to Darren Waller, which, by the way, the Washington Commanders took a penalty. They accepted the penalty on the Giants to move them back. It would have been 4th and I think maybe a yard to get a first down. I'm not sure. I forget the situation, but I was surprised that Washington. That would have been a chip shot field goal had Brian Daboll done that. I don't know if they would have gone for it. And if they would have gone for it, who says they would have made it?
True.
But Washington accepted a penalty on that.
Yeah, I mean, and also Tyrod's been able to play with Saquon Barkley the last 2 weeks, which is something that should not go unnoticed, whereas Daniel Jones' record without Saquon Barkley is miserable.
Way, we said that last week. I said that last week.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just bringing up that point. I think that when Daniel's healthy, he's going to play. That's just there is no way that a healthy Daniel Jones is going to be sat down for Tyrod Taylor at this juncture. Now, you want to tell me that Tyrod Taylor goes out against his Jets defense and throws 5 touchdown passes and wins the game, which I think is highly unlikely. Mm-hmm. But if he does, then we could talk about it. But he hasn't done enough in these last 2 games for me to say that he overtakes Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback. I think really what this boils down to is, and this is not a good thing for Daniel Jones, I don't think that Tyrod Taylor is much better than Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is much better than Tyrod Taylor. I don't think that it changes much with either one of them. So this is not like a Zach Wilson, and I'm going to say his name again, Mike White. It's not like that from last year where there was a decided difference in quarterback play. I think both of these guys are equally as good at winning a game for the Giants as the other one.
I don't know. Tyrod looks pretty comfortable, man.
Yeah, I mean,
he made a bonehead mistake at the end of the first half against the Bills for sure. He got his team down all the way to the goal line in order to win a game against the Bills for sure.
Yeah, he's been fine, but it's not like he came in here and lit the world on fire offensively.
He has not thrown an interception.
Yeah, that's right. He also made that critical error down at the goal line that might have cost him the game against Buffalo. Let's not forget that.
I did say that.
So, I mean,
I said that, and I was killing him because of that.
I can't believe that the world has brought me to this stage now where I'm sitting here defending Daniel Jones against you. How did this happen?
I'm not.
How did this happen?
I'm not talking about Daniel Jones. I'm just talking about Tyrod Taylor's performance the last 2 games.
No, you're in a way we're talking about Daniel Jones.
I'm not. Daniel Jones is hurt, so I can't worry about Daniel Jones right now. He's got to get right and he's got to get healthy, and they got to pass him in order to play. I'm just telling you that Tyrod has done a really nice job the last 2 games. He's done exactly what a backup quarterback should do. Give your team a chance to win, and don't make the big turnover.